Rida Jamal, class of 2020 at RUSM University School of Medicine. Rida, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be able to speak with y'all.
Absolutely. So congratulations on being selected to be the commencement speaker for the class of 2020. What a tremendous honor.
It truly is an honor. I'm super stoked to talk to my class on Saturday. It's going to be super fun.
Tell us a little bit about the process and how you came to be selected.
The process is via student nominations. So again, truly an honor that I get to speak on behalf of my class, to my class. I really wish we were all in Miami right now as we were supposed to be, but even from home, I think we're going to have a good time celebrating together on Saturday.
As Director of Admissions, I had an opportunity to look back at your file and learn a few things about you as well. So I know that you were born in Pakistan and moved to Canada when you were very young. So I know your mother was a physician. So I will ask the obvious question to start with. What made you decide to become a physician?
My mom has played a huge influence in, not even just the doctor I'm going to be, but the person I'm going to be. So I owe a lot to her. But I guess for me, it wasn't, I didn't have one magical moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to be a physician. This is it. I think it was a collection of moments over time. I've always loved science. I studied biology in my undergraduate degree at UBC. And I fell in love with human anatomy and physiology. And I've always wanted a career that was purposeful and, that would help others. So it kind of seemed like a natural fit.
Take me through the progression of how you looked at your different options and how you went through the process, ultimately how you found out about Ross University.
Once I had graduated with my biology degree, I'd kind of made up my mind that I wanted to be a physician. I had applied for Canadian med schools, and unfortunately that didn't work out. And then I started looking into Caribbean med schools, and I don't know, it just felt the most right for me. I think once I'd made up my mind about something, I really wanted to be a physician, and Ross was allowing me to do that.
We've got such a major curricular focus that we've always had at Ross on clinically relevant activities from very early on in the program, including patient simulation. So can you think back to that and how that type of focus, how did that help prepare you, and why was it worthwhile for you?
Starting from semester one, we get a little bit of clinical exposure, simulated patient exposure. So I think even just from day one, just being able to have a conversation with a patient, even if they're simulated, it really helps in the long run. So you're not as nervous when you're kind of starting your clinical rotations in the hospital.
Obviously 2 months ago, COVID-19 hits, and, you mentioned that you were in New York, and actually your final rotation was in New York. So you're there. In really the epicenter of this public health emergency. So you're still a student though at that point. So very recent. So what was that like for you as you were sort of getting ready to wrap up, but there you are in the middle of this emergency?
Right. So yeah, I literally had 2 weeks left, I think, when Ross made the decision to pull students from clinical rotations. But it was a really weird time because in the beginning, I think a lot of us were kind of indifferent to it. We knew the gravity of the situation, but we didn't really. But then once it came to New York and it just kind of spread like wildfire, everything kind of happened really fast. You could see the shift in the hospital. I was at St. John's in Far Rockaway at the time. I guess luckily for me, I was doing a pathology rotation, so there was no real direct patient contact. So I didn't have that fear necessarily. But there was certainly a lot of uncertainty and fear in the hospital. Especially as a student, you have some skills and you have some knowledge and you really want to help, but at other times you kind of feel like you're in the way and, are you a vector? Like it was a lot of mixed feelings for sure.
I mean, what a difficult situation, to be sure. And obviously now as you transition and you begin life as an internal medicine resident in just a month and a half, clearly you're moving into an entirely new, situation, very different than you would have expected just a few months ago. So certainly, I know everyone, watching certainly joins me in applauding you for, walking in the door, clearly during this challenging time. Once again, thank you so much to Rida Jamal, class of 2020, and our Ross University School of Medicine commencement speaker.